colleague, Ranking Member Ocasio-Cortez, for her opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you to our witnesses for coming here today. Coal workers take well-deserved pride in building a prosperous United States economy and the American middle class. A century ago, coal workers fought and died to win workplace protections like the weekend that we now see as commonplace. And every American has a debt to coal workers for that fight. These workers won well-paid union jobs that provided good work for generations of families. But for around 15 years now, coal mining itself has been on a steep decline. In fact, no new coal plants have come online in almost 10 years, and nearly a third of operating coal plants are slated to close by 2030. Several factors are at play. Competition from natural gas and the rise of low-cost renewable energy has led to the closure of hundreds of coal mines. When coal plants retire, they're more often replaced by new renewable energy and not a new coal plant. And while the coal industry once helped communities across the country prosper, it also contributed to devastating health, environmental, climate, and long-term economic impacts. The black lung epidemic has ravaged miners. An estimated 1 in 5 tenured miners in Central Appalachia has black lung disease, a devastating and potentially fatal illness caused by inhaling dust underground. Meanwhile, cancer occurs at significantly higher rates in communities with mountaintop removal mining. Water pollution from abandoned coal mines has devastated thousands of miles of streams and rivers. Unreclaimed mountains of waste rock create looming threats of landslides for homes downhill. Carbon emissions from burning coal are responsible for about 40% of global emissions from fossil fuels, a significant contribution to the climate crisis that simply cannot be ignored. And due to coal's decline, over the last 10 years, more than 60 coal companies have gone bankrupt, including companies that were once some of the largest and most prosperous. When coal companies file for bankruptcy, they too often spin off their unproductive mines, and this is what we should be focusing on and talking about today. They drop their obligations to clean up old mines, and they stop paying health care and pension obligations to the communities and the very workers who gave up so much of their lives in service to these companies. In doing so, these companies break their promise to neighboring communities and everyday Americans who expected clean water and air, and to the workers who risked their well-being and expected these benefits for the rest of their lives. They were promised them. In 2017, seeing this crisis unfold, Congress and this committee stepped in to guarantee healthcare benefits for more than 22,000 retirees and widows when coal companies left them behind. In 2019, we again stepped in to protect mine workers' pension benefits for 100,000 more. In doing so, we worked closely with the United Mine Workers of America and made sure that no worker was left behind. I'm proud of the work that we've done with UMWA to protect these essential services. But to be clear, it was the public, not the coal companies, who picked up the tab for the coal industry's failures. The public. And now the remaining coal companies, which are all at risk of bankruptcy in a dying industry, may try to forfeit their environmental reclamation liabilities and the promises they made to workers as well. So let us be clear. This problem is not inevitable. It's not that these companies simply cannot afford to pay for reclamation. It's that they are choosing not to. Through bankruptcy, these companies are consolidating mines with little recoverable coal to smaller companies, many of which will also or may also go bankrupt in order to avoid the responsibility of cleanup, a responsibility that they have not just to the American people, but to this entire country. Meanwhile, reclamation bonds for cleaning up these mines are consolidated to newer and riskier insurance companies. It's not right, it's not fair, and it's a matter of environmental and economic justice. And the solution to this unfolding crisis is not to provide false hope that coal will return. We need to face fight head-on and make sure that we're holding coal companies accountable, that we're taking care of workers and their communities while we still can. And with that, I yield back to the chair.
Thank